What's up, e-bike fans? In this video, we're going to be finally unboxing the Lectric XP Lite. I've been dying to try to get my hands on one of these bikes, and thank you so much to Lectric Ebikes for sending me one to do this review. Really appreciate it, because this is one of those bikes I think finally my wife might be able to be comfortable to ride based on what I've seen so far. Look at the size of this box. I mean, already as I know it, it's going to be one of those great bikes that's for the size that it's going to be. Plus, it's built by Lectric. I mean, I have very high expectations, and I don't think that I'm going to be let down on this. So let's get started unboxing this bike, Lectric XP Lite. Thanks. All right, so one thing, I was not able to get this bike actually closed to this position. The supervisor decided to come in. I was not able to do it, so I called Lectric XP, and it is a Saturday about 3:30ish, I think, right now. And I had to shut off the cameras. I should have actually used one of the cameras to record the call, because the customer service there is absolutely amazing. Okay, I want to say that first of all. I was a little bummed. What was happening is the battery inside this casing was sitting just a little too low by about 2 or 3 millimeters. Actually, just enough where the pins were not lining up from the controller in here. So when the bike was coming together, it was stopping from closing all the way. I asked them, is this a common problem? And is it something that I should basically be saying on the video as far as how to solve this issue, because it was such an easy fix. So those of you who are actually picking up an XP Lite, as you saw how easy it is to put this together, this is one of the easiest bikes I've ever had to put, other than the 2.0 and the actual 1.0 Lectric. I want to show you the quick fix. Basically, all he said was, when you get to the point where you're just about to close it, put the key in and shove it up and hold it, and it'll give you that 2 millimeter gapping change to go in and make it put together. So it makes it super easy to do that. I'll demonstrate that right now, but in the meantime, let me get her out of the way so she doesn't get hurt. Good girl. Although he used to put the key in while you're doing it, I actually highly recommend not having your key in when you're doing the folding and unfolding. Have the battery in the lock position, and so that you see the pin there. But take your key out, because this cable here has the potential, when you're folding it, it gets really tight. It can bend your key. I'll put the kickstand up. I'm going to unlatch it here, and then fold the bike this way. Okay, and put it down. Now, again, the battery actually is sitting here. The pins don't line up right now because of it. Just a little droopy. And the other thing is that if you are getting one of these bikes, and you are getting one from XP, it doesn't happen as a lot. It just happens enough where they know that some of the fitting, some of them just don't fit, or get a little bit loose the way it is. I can hear it just shaking just a little bit. Maybe it's just about, yeah, it's about 2 millimeters, really just a small amount. So what he's gonna do is send me just a piece of tape to go and put on the bottom. It's a really thick tape, and then that'll help solve that issue. But basically, have your key ready. So I have the key ready, put it in my pocket here. I'm gonna open up the bike. So as you can see, the cable will start to move right where the key is. That's why you don't want to have it there. And then basically you're going to get to the point where it won't go. You don't want to force the bike actually at this point. Thank goodness these are really light. So I'm going to stick the key in. Okay, and then I'm just going to hold the key up just a little bit, and then boom, it just closes real easy. I can latch it, and that's really an easy fix. So it's really not a big deal. And like I said, once you have the key in, also, by the way, you turn it onto your on position, that actually adds the tension that you need. Plus the battery is sitting within, the pins are inside where the battery is actually getting together. So then there's no issues with the battery moving or shaking too much. At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and adjust this up, turn on the bike, and we're gonna do our test. Oh, put it to PS 5, and Our throttle, we have it going up to 20 miles an hour, or 19.8 on throttle. Battery comes about maybe 80% charged, so we're going to charge this up tonight, and that way we'll have our ride tomorrow and our filming. Okay, so let's go over the specs for this Lectric XP Lite. This current color is the Sandstorm color. It also comes in blue, white, black, and I like this color a lot. As you can see with the background, it kind of blends in with the desert style ride that I have out here in my area. And I want to say first of all that this bike actually has a lot of power for just 300 watts. So here's the motor. We have a 300 watt motor that puts out up to 720 watts peak power. That's a lot of power, and with these 2.6 inch width tires at a 20 inch diameter, these tires actually do a lot to reduce drag. I have them pumped up at 32 PSI where the rating is set for 35 max, and with that you have such little drag coming off of this that it really helps to make the bike just roll. And if you notice, we also have just a single sprocket in the back and a large front crank that is perfect for the size of this bike and the weight, and it just actually rolls. So it's like a cross between a BMX bike and a Lectric 1.0. So there's no suspension on this, and what we're looking at in the center part of the frame is honestly where the 7.8 amp hour battery is. And you know, some people might say that's a little small, but to be honest, it actually is perfect to keep this bike light and also to be able to get you up to 40 miles on this bike. It actually has everything fine-tuned so well. So another thing that Lectric does is they also keep the battery at a 48 volt powered battery, which a lot of manufacturers will usually typically have a battery that runs at only 36 volts when they're looking at 300 watt motors. So you get a lot of torque on the front end there that just really helps it take off in the beginning, and yet you don't have that jerkiness like you would with the 500 watt that comes with the Lectric 1.0 and 2.0. You see here also I have the suspension post by Zoom. This actually you can find at ebikeproducts.com/shop, and the reason why I added this Zoom post is because Levi Conlow, the CEO and co-founder of Lectric Ebikes, really wants people to customize their stuff. And we sell these suspension seat posts for all the Lectric models. It's a 31.6 millimeter, fits perfectly. This silver one looks great. I actually added on this really suspension type seat. It has the springs in the back, and to be honest, the seat that comes with the bike is not all that bad. It works fine, but I wanted to add this on to add a little bit more comfort. It doesn't have suspension on it anywhere on this bike otherwise, so you are feeling a lot of the bumps. But to be honest, the tires do a lot. I mean, at 2.6 inches, not that wide, but it's not thin, so it does help to absorb a lot of the small road roughness that you might actually have. Now the other thing is this bike is a foldable bike. We have a latch there, right there next to the Lectric logo, which will unfold. It also has that rear tail light on the left side of the screen that you see there. It is integrated, so it does run off the battery, as well as the headlight that you have in the front. The other thing I wanted to point out is that this bike has a really low profile. It's easy to step over, so you don't really even need a step over model with this. It is also so light that it's easy to lean over to get your leg through. Now as we look higher on the handlebars, I did add also a bottle bag to this, so I have it attached here. It's very sturdy the way it is. It can carry regular water bottles. I also use it to carry my keys or my wallet. There's also a front pouch for a cell phone if you want to do that, and I did also add on one of our cell phone holders. Both of these accessories you can get at ebikeproducts.com/shop. We're looking more at how this bike can perform amongst other e-bikes, and it does a really good job. It has its throttle that actually allows you to pick up. It's a twist throttle in the handlebars, and also if you look closer at the way that this cable management is, they did a really good job wrapping these cables up as well. In the front here, it's just put all together, so it's just one big thick cable. We also have our display, which is very similar to the XP's 1.0 and 2.0. In fact, it's probably exactly the same. And of course we have a PS up to PS level 5, and by pushing the button on the left hand side it can go up and down, and then of course our half twist throttle being demonstrated there as well. We also have auto cutoffs on the brakes. When you pull those, it shuts off the motor for safety. So it's a very well-rounded bike. It has all of the bells and whistles that most people would want. It doesn't come with fenders, and it doesn't come with things like suspension fork, but that's what keeps the price down. You don't really need those a lot of times. For like a BMX bike doesn't want to have fenders on typically. So this is the XP Lite, made by Lectric Ebikes. Fantastic bike, $7.99. And if you're interested in picking up one of these XP Lites, you can go to ebikeproducts.com/XP Lite. That's an affiliate link. It does take you to the Lectric Ebikes website, and I do get a small commission for any of the sales that are made from that link below. I really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything more, and it does go to help support this channel so I can make more videos. Also, be sure to check out next week's video where we take this bike on a hill test. Really steep hill, and it goes up and down. I think I was able to hit up to about 30 miles an hour, maybe a little faster, and you can check that video out next week using the link above. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I appreciate you all. See you on the trails.